Today we're going to talk about the truth of Agile teams, get down to the nitty gritty that people don't like to talk about that is happening in every single team out there. Let's talk about it, let's address it, let's discuss it so we can move forward with the real truth for Agile teams.
Welcome to the digital age where people, processes, and tools are revolutionizing how we operate. Here we dive into the world of artificial intelligence, cloud technology, agile frameworks, and data management, all served up in bite-sized, easy-to-understand portions. Ever wondered about the potential of AI? Puzzled by the cloud? Agile frameworks leaving you spinning? Or data management sounding like a different language? Fear not. We're here to demystify. We break down these complex concepts into simple, digestible insights for organizations, big and small. In this fast-paced world, staying ahead of the curve is crucial. So why not keep up with the latest trends in the digital age? Don't let the future leave you behind. Subscribe now and stay informed. Remember, knowledge is power, and we're here to empower you. So come on board, the future is waiting.
So here's the real truth. You wanted to hear it, you got it. So this is the real truth about every Agile team. And understanding these things and coming to a realization that this is happening help us can be better Agile teams. So this is kind of the goal of this video, to really discuss these and understand what can we do to accommodate these. So the first thing is there's not enough time. No matter how much work you put into planning, there's never enough time. There's always things that come up. There's always things that are unplanned. Unless you've done this before, you created this app, you created this infrastructure, there's no way of actually knowing 100% of what needs to be done to be complete. And so that's why understanding there's not enough time for anything, you understand how to prioritize things, right? That's more of the discussion. Let's prioritize what we need to do, high value, and get as much as we can in the time box for the budget. The second thing is not enough people. There's never enough people. There is always times that there's more work in the backlog than there is people or time. It's always larger, and some teams have an infinite backlog. I feel like it's infinite just because it keeps on growing and growing and growing. When you see those charts in Jira, they just keep on growing. The resolve to create it is just gets wider and wider as the team goes on. Some of it is actually work, some of it is outdated, some of it just left open, some of it's in the Jira ether, Jira black hole, out there somewhere spinning and spinning. And you know what? It just gets stuck there. And then eventually it comes up on a graph and you're like, what is going on with this work? So there's not enough people to do the work. Understanding this, again, is how can we work within the team to be efficient? How can we look ahead at some things that might be blockers, work that might be able to not be done, right? Maximizing the work not done is really key, especially in Agile. Important to really work as a team to understand that, look ahead, to see what we can do to be efficient with the people we have. Don't have the right people. So oftentimes there's just one UI component, there's one library that no one has experience with, that is a legacy item, something that's been on the product or application for a long time, and only a couple people know how to use it, or no one knows how to use it. So no one wants to touch it. So you don't never have the right people in the team to actually build that. And so you have to work your way around that. But maybe, some options is looking at other teams to say, hey, is there someone with a skill set, right, in your Scrum of Scrums, maybe in big room planning, somewhere where you cross-coordinate to say, can I actually have someone to help us out to deliver this product because we have no expertise in this? Or another option to be is continuous learning. As a leader, growth mindset is important to embody, but also to pass it off to the team. How is the team getting better? Is there learning opportunities to actually bridge that gap long term? So really important that we talk about that, we discuss it, we come up with plans, and we come up with goals to actually do that. 4, not always cross-functional. Wow. No matter how much cross-functionality you have, it's still impossible to get this 100%. It's just impossible because there's just so many things you have to know, even with just small components like applications. There's different libraries, there's different languages, front end, back end, there's databases, there's infrastructure, there's different AWS, there's different cloud services. When you put all that together, you can't always understand everything. And so you can never get 100% cross-functional. So how do you mitigate this as a team? Well, you coordinate with other teams that might have the right skill set, right? You cross-coordinate, you talk to them, big room planning, scrum of scrums, and you figure that out, right? To get the people you need to make that happen. And again, going back to the number 3 is maybe cross-training or learning new items or new technology, or taking your own time to actually develop those skill sets. That's another option. No product owner or scrum master. This happens, or maybe not a dedicated one, right? Or maybe not a official one that isn't the name of it. Maybe it's a manager playing one of these roles. Maybe it's one of the technical leads playing these roles. Let's be honest, that happens, right? Maybe they know the product the best of what to build. And so when you don't have this, you got to find that role still needs to be filled somehow. There has to be someone to prioritize the work. There has to be someone to aggregate that work from the stakeholders. There has to be that leader within the team that says, hey, let's make this happen. What can we do to make this happen? This is the issue. What can we do? What's our plan? How can we make this product work? How can we deliver this? You need those leaders. It's like a team captain. It's like the master chef in the kitchen. How can you bring the people together to make that product work, right? So that gap needs to be filled regardless. It just gets filled by different people. And so that's when we have to realize, like, who embodies that? Maybe let's make it official. Let's make that official. And, maybe not brush it under the rug or not care about that, because then some of that role responsibility gets dropped. And that's sometimes important to build the product and good function, good team coordination and good team dynamics is needed to have those roles. So number 6, no one follows the frameworks exactly. Give me an example of someone or a team that follows frameworks to the T every single minute, every single event. Please let me know. I would like to understand this. I would like to see what they're doing. I'd like to see what they're building. And I'd like to see their technology stack, because I'm curious to see how this works to the T. You come to realize that it doesn't. People don't follow to the T, and often people don't even follow a single framework. Sometimes people just do whatever works for them, and that sometimes is better than just following something because someone said you should follow something. Or, hey, this is the best framework out here, or this can give this benefits. You do what works best for you. These frameworks are a starting place, a tool set. You have a bunch of tools, doesn't mean you use them for every job. That'd be ridiculous. I use a hammer, I use a wrench for every single job when it might not be needed. That doesn't make sense. So important here that no one follows the framework exactly. So you got to actually take that as a starting point and then see what works best for your team. 7, demo releasable features every sprint. This is something that I think is undervalued. And I think that doesn't always happen, right? And this is part of almost every framework. But sometimes you can't do this, right? And so remember, demo releasable features every sprint. So these are releasables to the customer. Sometimes the DevOps maturity in the organization is not capable of doing this. You don't have that pipeline set up to automate some of this testing and some of these continuous deployment to the environments. And so you can't do that. So what do you do though? You demo what you have, you get some feedback, and then you figure out when it makes sense to release that for your organization, what the requirements that it's set for your industry or your market. And so it's important here that that doesn't happen every sprint. After the majority, it doesn't happen every sprint, unless your sprints are like 3 months long. So maybe someone's come an edge case in there and so my sprints are that long. Okay, fine then. You could probably deal with every sprint, but for a majority of the teams with 1-2 weeks, 3-4 week sprints, probably not the case to at least customers, maybe releasable to the actual development team. Number 8 is that you use the practices that work for you. So that's actually the only fact, the only truth about these things, of these 8 items, is that you use what works best for you. You don't use every tool for every job, and that's the same thing for your Agile frameworks. You shouldn't use every single tool for every single team. And so you have to actually understand what kind of tools do you have as a team, which ones should you use for this situation, and what work actually working. Maybe you use that wrench and it's the wrong size, so I'm not going to use that anymore. And you got to be able to be flexible and adjust, and so you have to have some kind of place where you can have a discussion. I don't care if it's called a retrospective or a happy hour, and you guys discuss about what you can improve. As long as you get it back into the team, you actually make it actionable, that's all that matters. And so you use what works best for you. So I talked a lot about the truth in Agile teams. Appreciate you joining me in this conversation, because this is an interesting conversation, because a lot of times you see the frameworks and it looks all perfect, but in reality, you uncover that, open up the hood, and it's not that way. So what do you have to do? You plan for these things, and there's things to put in place to making sure you're doing that. Appreciate you joining this video. If you like this video, please like it, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you in the next video.